the ground. Great. So, my relationship with color is tumultuous. It's rocky. It's damn near toxic. And color lets me know that every single time I try and talk to her, I try and use her, I'm like, all right, let's do this. I've got a piece finished. I have a look I have envisioned for it. And color is always like, no. Me and color do not get along, but I want to change that relationship. I left school with the idea that eventually, if I ever needed to have something colored, I'd be like, let me find a colorist. And that's all well and good, and I have done that. However, my conversations with the colorist, because I don't know anything about color, and let me also say, I know a little bit about color, but not enough to have a conversation about what I want or to even know how things are gonna come together. She's a professional and it came out amazing. But it was a real turning point for me where I was just like, wow, I can no longer ignore this tumultuous relationship that I have with color. I can no longer let her dictate the terms and boundaries of our relationship. I have to be proactive about this. And so I'm trying to recover what I know about color and what I know about color theory. And so, like, you have the color wheel, primary, secondary, tertiary colors. You have warm and cool. You have hues, shades, tints, tones. Like, I'm trying to think of like certain rules or modes of logic that I can use to understanding color better. Every time I get told just here you go, like that information, I'm just like, this means nothing to me. I don't know what that means. Like, where do I apply it? Is that just sort of like as I'm doing the piece? I mean, I know value has something to do with that as well. So, like, different tints will get you different values and tones and, well, I guess not tones, but shades. My point is that I have the information, I just don't know how to use it or what to apply it with. I've had experiences with coloring things that I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like that was like maybe in high school. I've really since taken every step back I could from color. Like, that's just not my forte. And starting right there, starting with the language. Color is for me. Speak it into existence, right? I'm I can get good at color. Okay, so based on the color wheel I use, there are 6 complementary color palettes. I want to try my hand at all of them at least once, but I decided to start out with orange and blue. Mainly because I feel like orange and blue are the easiest for me to visualize how they could be used. I don't think I'm like ready to stylize anything yet, but I am okay with coloring things the color they are. And at least orange and blue, I'm like, well, the sky's blue, the ocean's blue. So I basically went by that logic and drew something where orange and blue would be super easy to work with. Basically, I decided on this breakfast picnic scene, which, is it just me or do they look like they're socially distancing? Like, I only realize now. Regardless, the coloring. I had a strategy. I basically picked the orange and blue directly from the color wheel, and from there I made a value scale of each color. Basically, the last thing I was trying to do was make the piece muddy on top of badly colored. And I wanted to see how it would look in grayscale. Once that was established, I jumped right into it. One thing that I failed to realize while making the value scale was that the blue was bright. I was so focused on the idea value that when I was putting it down, the color, I was just thinking like, oh, okay, well, as long as the blue for the ocean is darker than the blue for the sky, like this will make sense. It wasn't coming together. So basically, first order of business to correct all of that was desaturate everything. And I was still kind of shaky, My strategy had failed. I was like, well, the game plan is no more. So now what? I knew I wanted there to be like some sort of dramatic lighting, and I knew I could achieve that through shadow. So I basically was like, let me put a multiply on this. And suddenly I could see the vision. And after that, I was basically slapping down whatever colors could fulfill that vision. And here's how it came out. My final thoughts on this is that it's not bad. It could have been worse, but I feel like I got scared of saturation like halfway through because my initial strategy was falling apart due to saturation. So because of that, I didn't add a lot of saturation where I think it could have been beneficial, like the colors of the skin or the outfits. The characters didn't really pop as much as I thought that they could have. And this is only on second glance. Like when I finished this, I was like, this is the one. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's a little muddy. It's a little like, I know they're in shadow, but do they need to be in the dark? I don't know. Maybe my untrained eyes are deceiving me, but I just feel like it's a good start, but improvements could always be made.